Mermonkeys generally have a pretty small range, but that all changed in the most recent update. Normally we can start off by getting Etienne, that's going to increase the range, and getting a few EchoSense networks, but recently they changed the EchoSense network so it buffs by 10% instead of 6%, which is a huge change when you can get 10 of them. So if we get a pop side in just 5 EchoSense networks with Etienne and the buffs, it will have full map range, and pretty quickly we can get literally the entire map range, way over overkill. Everything will be covered with just that. So speaking of overkill, I wanted to play a very overkill game on Muddy Puddles Chimps where I get a full map range pop Sidon. Now this is not the most optimal thing to do. If I were to do pop Sidon with Cash Bear, I would not bring Etienne because of the fact that just 10 EchoSense networks with pop Sidon will get you adequate enough range, like gigantic adequate enough range I mean, without having the Etienne range buff. But if we get Etienne range buff, it's just way overkill. We'll get the entire thing without even needing all 10 EchoSense networks. So just for the fun of it, I'm doing Etienne. But if I were not, I'd probably get something here that would focus more on round 100. Oddly enough, I think Churchill would do very good because round 100 really is the weakest point if we have the full map range pop side, which is very, very powerful. So I'm going to be starting off with this early game that I actually made. I'm kind of copying it off of a video that I did earlier where I just kind of made this early game to get Dartling very early. It's a round 15 Dartling. I'm kind of proud of this one. I don't know if this is really optimal. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but whatever. I'm going to be able to get this, then push right into a Dartling Gunner mid game, and we'll carry on. Moving along, I'm just going to have this Dartling Gunner do a full mid-game carry, really because Pop Sidon is a pretty expensive tower and the tier 4 is not going to be doing a whole lot much, so that's kind of going to be important. I will be getting the Buckshot there just to beat round 40, and then I'll be able to get a Bads and carry on. I could have done this for a bit cheaper. The Laser Cannon into Plasma Accelerator would have also worked very well for a little bit of a cheaper price, given that you wouldn't have to buy an alk buff for a Plasma Accelerator. And then on round 100, I think the Bads does a little bit more damage, but I think the money would be able to cover the cost for like a tier 3 Spike Factory, something like that. That's really the only weakness of this setup once we get this giant range tower, so that's kind of what I'd just be focused on for the rest of the game, just trying to cover what I can to make round 100 as easy as possible. So we'll just have that in mind. Just some other possibilities that I could have done. I was also thinking maybe doing Comanche defense, but Comanche defense I feel like is kind of lackluster on round 100 without like a damage debuff. So if I have like a glue strike or whatnot, then it would be better, but I'm not going to be having that. So I decided to kind of skip out on the Comanche defense. From there though, this is where things start kind of getting crazy because I'm going to need a little bit of help. I won't actually be able to get into bads immediately from here. So I go for this Riptide Champion and I get some Echo Sense networks. I'm going to be alk buffing it because I'll have that alk buff for the pop side and later on, but just a few Echo Sense networks, like not really that many. And this Riptide Champion can already see the other lane, which is kind of crazy considering this is a tower that isn't supposed to have a lot of range. So we're going to have that Riptide Champion that's going to help us get the save up into the bads, and then the bads will kind of just do it how to put them out of Moab damage. The Riptide Champion also just does a lot of damage. If you haven't noticed, I definitely recommend maybe using this guy. In fact, I'm going to be doing a Riptide Champion spam at some point. I think I mentioned that in one of my previous videos, but it's just really, really crazy and can do a lot. A bunch of 032s, it is something. So I'm able to get this bads up here real quick, and then I'll be able to go into the pop side immediately after this. This double discount is going to be helping out, especially because I'm going to be getting a whole bunch of Echo Sense networks there, and I'm also going to need that range just to cover that extra range into the bads over there. So that's going to be doing all good and dandy, and then I can now kind of save up for the tier 5. It should be a really easy save up, nothing too much. I'm saving up early with the bads, plus I have good cleanup for Bloons, good Moab damage, and I also have my Etienne UCAVs to come in if I'm going to need that to help out, which I will use it a bit here and there. And then once I get the pop side, and everything should be super easy. Overall, this run just really wasn't very hard at all, even though it's not fully optimal, of course, but for the parameters that I'm setting, I think I did pretty well. And even with that, there's like no difficulty at all whatsoever. Just like a few rounds where maybe I had to do a little bit of micro time, like buying the ability on round 40, but just super easy. I was able to get objective after objective after objective, and then finish it off with a funky pop side and beating everything else with infinite range. So it's just a lot of fun. You'll like the mid game, super satisfying. I'll see you in a bit. Ending it off by going into the 90s, I'm already starting to rack up a little bit of cash spare. I'm going to hit Etienne level 20 to make it even easier, and this is just crazy. Normally, like, you really can't get a bunch of towers to cover all the range, but this pop side literally has full map range. It can see everything. Round 91, usually kind of quite a challenge because you're focused so much on the lane 2, 3, and 4, but it just sees over there, shoots over there, everything dies. 94 often also kind of hard because it's on the outskirts. A lot of things won't really be able to take out the ZMGs unless you're using infinite range towers. Just completely destroyed. 95 gone. And then I'm like looking at this, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is actually kind of insane. I didn't expect it to be doing this well, but really truly, if it's a single lane map, then just nothing will get past this pop sign. It has great pierce, good damage, it just shoots at homes, it's infinite range, it will destroy everything. 98 went down, no issue. 99 too, and then round 100 came and I didn't have enough damage, so I had to get a little bit more. Ironically, I got a glue strike, even though I was thinking before that I would not get a Comanche defense because I don't have glue strike. I ended up having to get a glue strike being the most optimal solution. I tried a whole bunch of other things, didn't really work, and to all of your 6-7 people out there celebrating a very 6-7 day, I end off with 6-7 cash spare, or 67,000, whatever, 6-7, yeah. Anyways, that's one way to end it off. Maybe my unoptimal plays made this all come together because of that.
Thanks for watching. If you want to help out the channel, you can check out these new videos, like and subscribe for more content, support the channel by becoming a member, and joining the Discord to chat with the community. Bye!